Are you doing everything you can to work towards a goal, but not really making progress? If yes, I want to ask you, have you even accepted where you are? And this might feel counterintuitive because so often when we're striving towards something, we're so focused on where we want to be, right? Like we're writing down all the action steps, we're breaking down the big goal into smaller achievable steps, but our daily habits to get there. We're trying to get into the mindset of the person who has what you want and who does what you want. And that is all very admirable, right? But in doing so, we often lose sight of where we are currently at. And this is actually a problem because imagine you are stuck somewhere in the middle of nowhere and you have a map. And on the map, you can see where you want to go. But you are so focused on where you want to go that you are refusing to actually look up on the map where you currently are. You can see how that would be counterproductive, right? Because in order to go where you want to be, you first have to figure out how to get there. And how do you get there? By starting where you're at. And I can really understand that because usually we're trying to get somewhere else because our current situation is uncomfortable. For example, right now, I'm trying to better my financial situation after I burned out of my last career. So right now, I'm really focused on, okay, what can I do in the future? What do I want to do? What feels doable with my health situation? And so forth. And all of that are very future-focused thoughts, which makes sense because I'm trying to create something in the future. However, something that has been a big blockage for me has been accepting that I have made the decision to end my previous career, not necessarily because I wanted to, but because I had to for my health. And because I've been refusing to go there in my head, I haven't really been able to look at what are actually my skills, like what have I done in the past that will help me in my future. So whenever I think about the future, it's like this big black hole because in my head, I'm like someone who doesn't have any skills, like someone who doesn't know anything, who has never done anything, and that's not the truth. But because I'm refusing to accept where I am, and where I am is that I'm someone who was in academia, who worked as a lecturer, who was starting a PhD, who then burned out, and now I have ended that career. If I refuse to look at that I can't even investigate what didn't work before, what I might want to do, and what I'm good at doing. And the reason we so often refuse to look at where we currently are is because we're ashamed of it. Because we think that there's something wrong with where I'm at and something wrong with me. And that is really the core of the issue, because as long as you're ashamed of where you are and who you are, you can't actually face your situation head on. And as I said, I can really understand that. As I said, I burned out of my previous career, so currently I'm on medical aid, which means that my finances aren't exactly where I would like them to be. And that is something that has been very difficult for me to face in the last year. So I've pretty much avoided the entire topic, which of course doesn't exactly improve your financial situation. As I'm sitting with that, thinking about my future, thinking about my financial goals, about my life goals in general, it can almost become an escapist fantasy, right? Okay, like right now I'm in this situation, but in 2 years it's going to be completely different, and I'm going to be so abundant and wealthy, and I do want to be, I will be. I've decided I will be. But do I have to go there from a place of I'm not already enough as I am? So with whatever it is you're trying to do, you're trying to work towards, ask yourself, can I enjoy the journey? And if I can't enjoy the journey, is it maybe because I'm not okay with who I am right now without having achieved that thing, without having done that thing? And just ask, can I accept this? Acceptance doesn't mean that it is okay, that you approve of it, and it doesn't mean that you don't want to change anything. It just means seeing the situation for what it is, just as a fact. And we do that all the time, like because we accept a lot of things we don't have any stories about. For example, I accept that I have brown hair. Like it's not something I'm fighting. It's not something I'm arguing with people about. It's not something I'm ashamed of. Just I have brown hair. It's a fact. It's not something I aspire to change. And maybe hair is actually a good example, because obviously there are people who have been told that their hair is not good. That there's something wrong with their hair, with the texture, with the color, and that therefore it is something that they should change. People who have experienced that pain and that injustice, they do have a different experience, I imagine, from me with my hair. And that is not because it is a fact that there's anything wrong with them. Definitely not. But because there have been societal stories told to them that have caused feelings of shame. Maybe a more personal example, I've had to accept that there has been a lot of trauma in my life, specifically in my childhood and in my teenage years. Accepting that fact has been a long journey. It's been like a decade of a journey, and I'm still on it. It doesn't mean that I approve of what happened or what people did. But if I accept that this happened, I'm not so much of my mind is occupied thinking about it. And the moment I can accept that it happened is the moment that I can start releasing that shame that I hold about it. It's basically a cage I'm opening up that I'm walking out of. So that's what I'm doing with my financial situation right now. I accept that I'm currently unemployed and see how I'm already qualifying that. See how I'm like, oh, I accept that I'm currently unemployed because I'm not going to be it in the future. Or often I will say I'm unemployed for medical reasons, which is already justification again, because why does that matter? Why can't I just say, I accept that I am unemployed. I accept that the number in my bank account is not the one I would like. I accept that when I opened my laptop to start recording this video, I got a notice for a missed payment because I had to wait a day because I had to wait for my medical care money to arrive. It's really silly how simple just saying that out loud, saying it out loud into a camera, posting it on YouTube is. And obviously that's not something you have to do. But as I said, whatever you are doing, whatever you feel you have to change in your life, can you just take a journal and write, I accept this? And even if that feels so difficult, then really look at what emotions it's bringing up in your body. Like the thought of it, even of doing that, of saying, I accept this. Like, what is there? Is there shame? Is there anger? Is there frustration? Because whatever it is, that is what is actually stopping you from making progress. And that is, when you release it, what you will alchemize into power, into moving forward. And that might not be a one-day process. As I said, there are things I've been working on releasing for 10 years. There are things I can release in one afternoon. You never know what it is. But I do know that the sooner you start, the sooner you finish. And I do know that by ignoring it, these things do not go away. They only get worse because they compound, just like healing compounds. And if you would like more support with this is really all we talk about on this channel, like nervous system regulation, healing, undoing creative blockages. And my roommate's cat has decided to enter the chat. So my name is Zhenya. I hope that this was useful to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.